Hey guys, hope you're having a great week. This might be a little funny to watch actually. If you watch the videos, they look like they're going in backwards sequence because my hair is actually shrunken rather than grown. I guess I just kept coming closer to a bald head and finally did it. Um, Also, I sound a little sick, so I might sound like I'm going through puberty and going in regression that way, but I'm not. Just a little under the weather because we all partied pretty hard on Saturday. For those of you who made it to the client party, so nice to see you guys. Had an awesome time. Everybody had a lot of fun. We had some ping pong. We had some really aggressive hula hoop competitions and some very rigorous and engaged air hockey tournaments. So for those of you who made it, it was so cool to see you. For those of you who didn't, you totally missed out, but I hope you did something wonderful with your Saturday evening, and hopefully we'll see you next time. Last week we talked about lulls and depression and getting in a funk, and I personally had some revelations this week, having coming out of my funk and having an opportunity to look back on it and also to watch what I'm doing when I'm not in a funk and compare the two. And excuse me, I found a really important thing to pay attention to, and the question and the topic of this talk today is, what do you do with your time, and what is taking your time? So the two things: what do you do with your time that you enjoy, and what do you do with your time when you're productive, when you're feeling good and you're getting what you want out of life? What are you doing with your time? And let's make more of that. And then, what takes your time and energy away from you? What steals your time? For me, when I looked at this, I had some really hit over the head, revelations, like, why hasn't this occurred to me before? These type of epiphanies. And one was, the very first one hit me over the head was Facebook. So my dear, friends and followers on Facebook, I am very sorry, but I am removing myself from the whole Facebook gig, both on my personal page, which has already been done, and then in the next week or two, the professional page. I find that I have this mental list or this literal list every day of things I have to do. Some are time sensitive and appointment based, so I show up and I'm there and I do that. Then others aren't, and they can get done or they don't get done. It doesn't really matter in terms of, there's no accountability or liability if I do or don't do them, at least in terms of, someone or something expecting of me. However, if I don't get these things done that I really want to get done, it does definitely damage the quality of my life. And to me, that is just as important, if not honestly more important, the quality of your life rather than the checklist, So I noticed that when I have this mental or physical list of things to do, what I do is I say, sure, I can do those things, but first, let me relax and give myself a little time for myself and enjoy myself and just indulge a little bit, and then I'll be energized and ready to do this thing with a full heart. Reality is, the things that I think are getting into myself are actually pulling out of myself. My idea of what to do with my free time is things that aren't constructive. Because if you're being constructive, you're putting out energy, right? But it's kind of a weird thing. The truth is, what I choose to do with my time when I'm trying to not be productive and instead just, charge, so to speak, I'm instead giving away my energy. I'm losing energy. So Facebook was the first thing I do. I realized that I go and I check my personal account, I check my business account, I say hi to people if they're on there, and I might do the whole following the web thing, seeing what's going on with people, seeing what thoughts are, or if there's anything interesting out there or whatever. Before you know it, and I know you can all say this if you've been on Facebook for any amount of time, 1 minute turns into 5 minutes, turns into an hour, turns into depression, if it happens right. There's a whole congruence between the Facebook and the TV, the television, with the whole marketing thing too. It's funny, if you watch, I was watching some really nice health thing the other day on one of those health TV stations, and I was very happy because they were saying, there's a million different ideas on diet, there's this, there's that, this person says no fat, this person says high fat and steak, this person says no carb, this person says measure your foods, and they all have their ups, they all have their downs, they're all successful or unsuccessful for certain people and whatever. And they even really didn't have an explanation. They just said, do your best, do what works for you, they did mention that you should pay attention to calories, but whatever. Everybody has their own input, and you know, they, in the end, were very righteous about it. They were very holistic. They were considering the spirit, and they were considering the fact that science has its limitations and all this, and I was really applauding them until they went to commercial. Because the moment the station went to commercial, what did it do? It said, oh, you're fat. Did you know that? You're fat. Yeah, you're fat, and we have a cure. It's called an electro-impulse ab machine. You sit there and be lazy and sit on your couch and eat potato chips and watch TV, and we'll have a machine stimulate your muscles electronically. Now, I don't know everything about physics or electronics, but I know a little bit. And anatomically, I just have a lot of resistance to believing that this is correct, first of all. Second of all, the show itself is admitting that there's no exact solution, and then every commercial that followed that had either a diet or an exercise equipment or something to sell you that would solve that problem. Blah, you kidding me? And Facebook is no better. I mean, you know, I don't know if you guys all know this, but your demographics and psychographics are everything you enter into Facebook. If you've entered your birthday, your date, you know, your birth date, your birthday, your interests, you know, whether you're single or not, all this stuff is given to marketing people, like me sometimes even, and I go in there, and other marketing people who are not so, you know, karmically concerned will go in there, and they'll find exactly what your interests are, what your age is, what your whatever is. They'll find out every little thing about you that they can find out through, you know, really uncanny means of demographic, psychographic balance. And they'll use that to, you know, attract things that you would want to buy. So you go on Facebook and you just start seeing all these side, if not conscious, then subconscious, you know, peripheral bombardments of this you know, consumerism, compulsion, and impulsion to buy, and this need that what you have now is not enough, and the moment here is not enough, and you got to reach and you got to succeed somewhere else, and you got to get something to fulfill that gap you're missing. So sad, so sad. And then what's worse, do any of you know anybody who's egotistical, who has an ego problem? Raise your hand. Yeah, I did. I do, whatever, you know. I spend a lot of time watching my ego very carefully. Still struggle with it, of course, naturally. I mean, I'm on camera, for Christ's sakes. Ugh, it's dangerous, you know. But truthfully, you know, there's these people out there who use Facebook, and it's a mass majority of you. It might be you. You might not even know it. You might not even realize. But Facebook is so interesting because we have an opportunity to present ourselves very precisely as we'd like. We can include the photos we want. We can untag ourselves or upload the photos that are favorable or unfavorable, you know. And we can also write our own little scripts. We can take time. We can, you know, comment in a certain way. Sure, we do these things in our life too, but it's so scripted and it's so permanent. And you can view a history of somebody's, you know, actions and feelings and, you know, what they post and who they post to. And not only is there this whole, like, popularity thing with the friends, you know, to build the ego, but there's just so many opportunities to build one's image of self, right? You show the pictures that you look the best in, yeah? Who shows the pictures of the people who don't look good, you know? Have you seen your best pictures or your worst pictures on Facebook? Have you met somebody in person after meeting them on Facebook and found out they don't look as good as they did on Facebook? Come on, it's happened to all of us. So, the danger here, other than false advertising, interpersonally, is that the danger you take on when you're looking at all these people, because you see, oh, they're, you know, really successful in this, and, you know, because of course they flaunt that on Facebook, you know, whether it's income or else or otherwise, or, you know, they see that, you know, you, like, this person looks so good, or they're so, you know, they're so talented at this or whatever, because they display all this stuff, but you don't see their weak points. And though it is so great to celebrate other successes, and I'm very happy when I see somebody's talented, or somebody has a certain resource, or you know, asset, or, you know, whatever it might be, or inner beauty, outer beauty, I'm so happy for that person. But you see so much of that, and you don't see the truth and the, you know, the problems that people are going through, and the stresses and the pains. It's dehumanizing, and it also makes you think that you have a problem, because you're seeing everybody's best image, and you get none of the real stuff. And when you're in person, you get a little bit more of that real stuff. In this society,